According to the National Public Radio, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is seeking to put an end to asylum for thousands of immigrants trying to escape their dangerous circumstances. The word asylum is defined as the protection granted by a nation to someone who has left their native country as a political refugee. Immigration lawyers all over the United States who work to help these individuals in dire need worry that by doing this, the Attorney General is ignoring years of case law that allowed for asylum seekers to enter our country. U.S. immigration continues to be a heated debate, and we hope our leaders can work together to find a workable solution. In international news, women in Saudi Arabia will be allowed to drive vehicles for the first time. According to the Khaleej Times, a Saudi Arabian newspaper, Saudi women will legally allowed to get behind the wheel beginning June 24th. Licenses will be distributed to those who have successfully passed their driving exams. Women's rights issues continue to be a global problem. However, this one victory is a monumental step in the right direction.
Recently, a mom made 2 life cakes for her own twin daughters when they turned 1.
A life cake is a life-size cake of a person that is made to look exactly like them. Clothes, makeup, and usually a famous person.
She spent over 175 hours on each cake.
She's been in the life cakes industry for over 5 years.
Fortunately, she cannot bring herself to cut into her daughters, the cakes, of course.
So she bought them 2 normal cakes that they could eat on their first birthday.
Did you know that in Houston there are chocolate glitter high heels?
Yeah, it's called the Cocoa Cardamom Chocolatier.
And don't worry, the sparkles are edible.
First, they fill up the heel part of the mold and let it to dry.
Then they fill up the rest of the heel and dump it out so it can look like an actual shoe.
Are heels not your forte? Don't worry, they make men's shoes and purses as well.
If you don't like all this fashion chocolate, they also make creative truffles with sprinkles and color.
The heels are so well made that some people don't even want to eat it. They just want to have it. Because it looks like you can't eat it. Bye!
Dogs. Who doesn't love them? 2 years ago, a family brought a so-called dog home from their vacation. The family realized that the dog had a huge appetite, and it started walking on its hind legs. But it wasn't until the dog reached 250 pounds that they were fully convinced that their pet was a bear. An Asiatic black bear, to be exact. The owners of the bear gave it to a zoo, where it could live a more normal life. This exciting event happened in China. Surprisingly, it wasn't the first time in China that an animal was mistaken for another animal. Last year, a woman found her puppy that she bought from a Chinese pet store. It was a fox. I think people in China should take a little more of a closer look before they take an animal home.
Throughout the past year, and I guess the other year too, we have done many Apple versus Android debates. However, all of those were scripted, and you don't get to see the pure, amazing anger that I have against Apple through a script. So today, you
have bullet points.
Those are bullet points from my research, okay? I was smart enough to do research.
Yeah, well, that's still kind of a script.
It's not really.
It's not.
It's just information that's been written down.
Jealous.
Yeah. See, listen to Jaden.
Yeah.
So, Laren, would you like to say anything to start?
Well, first of all, Samsung batteries are worse than Apple batteries.
That's not true.
Yes, they are.
No, Samsung batteries have bigger.
My dad has.
You can't blame all. You can't put all batteries in the category of one battery from.
No, 2 phones. Two phones.
2. That's a big number considering however many millions of phones Samsung has made.
He's had to replace their batteries.
iPhone X has the biggest battery of any iPhone so far, 2,716 milliamps. The biggest Samsung battery has 3,600 milliamp hours. In fact, the screen is also bigger, and that's a good thing. You can see more. So one thing that is really cool is multitasking. You can open 2 windows at the same time. You can
use that.
I use it all the time. It's nice if you want to like look at an article and take notes on it. If you're I know there's a lot of uses.
Okay. I think we might be done here. But
There's more things I could
I
say.
think this was a
but-
pretty good debate. I think I might have won. Yeah.
Don't listen
But,
to the
yeah.
transparent person.
This
See?
is why you should do your research and have bullet points, like Holden.
Well, I didn't know we could, so. Yeah.
So Glenn, you were nominated by Ms. Holter for your hard work and vast involvement at Lesher. So we'd just like to ask you a few questions. First of all, what has been your fondest memory at Lesher?
Well, my funnest memory at Leisure is when I played soccer in school.
Cool. What high school are you going to?
For comments.
Do you have any advice for incoming sixth graders or anybody?
Well, to do well, focus in school. That's all.
Great. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal would be a horse.
A horse? Cool. And do you have any last minute goodbyes you want to make?
No.
Alright. Okay, thank you. Congratulations. So Caden, you were nominated twice by Miss Bergman and Miss Freemeyer for your vast involvement at Lesher. So we'd like to ask you a few questions. Okay. What has been your fondest memory at Lesher?
I really liked going on the Catalina trip. A lot of people there were super awesome, and it was such an awesome experience.
What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Cooter High School.
Great. And do you have any advice for incoming sixth graders or anybody?
I would say keep an open mind and listen.
And what is your favorite sport?
I really like tennis.
And last of all, do you have any last minute goodbyes?
Nope.
Eddie, you were nominated by Ms. Freemeyer for Science Olympiad and the Latino Conference, so we'd like to ask you a few questions. First, what is your fondest memory about Lesher?
I think it's gonna have to be like being on like the wrestling team and winning districts this year.
Cool. What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins.
Cool. Do you have any advice for incoming students?
Well, I suggest you like really turn in your stuff on time, because I didn't sometimes, and it stressed me out. So to reduce stress, I would say like turn your stuff in on time.
All right, and this one's kind of silly, but what's your favorite subject?
I don't really have a favorite subject, but it's like between math and science.
Do you have any last minute goodbyes?
I don't know. Bye.
So Megan, you were nominated by Miss Ariana for your great kindness and your vast involvement at Lesher. So we'd just like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
First of all, what has been your fondest memory at Lesher?
I think it would probably be being here at Lesher and doing harmonic minors was really fun. The golf team especially, I mean, I got to know some people that I didn't think I'd be friends with. And that goes for the musical and everything else, so.
Cool. What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins.
Great. And do you have any advice for incoming sixth graders or really anybody?
Honestly guys, don't be nervous. Just because if you're moving up, I mean, I was nervous, and it turns out you make so many more new friends, like Livy. I didn't know her, and then German class came along, and now we're really good friends. So just think, you're going to make new friends, you're going to get to try new possibilities that you didn't get to do in elementary school, so yeah.
Well said. Next, what is your favorite gemstone?
I think my favorite gemstone is probably the ruby, just because I'm a July birthday, so.
Last of all, do you have any last minute advice you want to make?
Honestly, I just need to say goodbye to Lesher and all. Everybody here has been really great to me, including lower classmen, so to speak, as in the 7th and 8th graders. So it's been pretty cool.
All right, okay. Congratulations, Megan.
Thank you. Sam, you were nominated for your various involvement in Lesher by Miss Freemeyer, so we'd like to ask you a few questions. First, what is your fondest memory about Lesher?
Well, I just remember I always liked biking to school with all my friends. That's pretty cool. We've done that like since 6th grade, first day, and I've always enjoyed it because it's like a great way to start the day before I go to classes.
right, what high school are you going to?
I'm going to Pooter High School.
Cool. What's your favorite drink?
Ooh, well, I'd probably go with root beer.
Understandable. Do you have any last minute goodbyes?
Well, I'll just say goodbye to Lesher.
All right, congratulations.
So John, Katie, and Katie, so you were nominated for your awesome performances in the Shrek musical. And obviously Liam did an awesome job too, he just isn't here today. So, the first question is, what has been your fondest memory at Lesher?
My fondest memory at Lesher was the musical because of all of the people that were in it.
My favorite memory was also the musical. It was just such a great experience and I just met so many great people.
I'm going to say mine original, but mine was the musical too. Like Katie said, it was just a great experience all around.
Great, and the next question is, what high school are you guys going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins.
Collins.
Rocky.
Okay, and do you guys have any advice for really anybody?
Definitely be yourself, because
it's just so good to be yourself.
it's just so good to be yourself.
Because what would the world be without an original Katie or an original John?
That's
Or
right.
an original cadence.
Yeah.
All right, and what is your guys' favorite foods? Are your guys' favorite foods?
My favorite food is mac and cheese and grape juice.
Oh God. Okay. Mine is dark chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Not something weird like mac and cheese and grape juice.
Well, they're separate. They're not together. It's like a meal, like mac and cheese with grape juice on the side.
No protein.
Right. Mac and cheese has cheese in it.
Okay.
Anyway, do you have any last minute goodbyes you'd like to make?
I just want to pretty much say goodbye to the school because it was pretty fun going to middle school at Lesher.
Yeah. It's been a really great place to be for the past 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been here a lot longer than 3 years, so I'm ready to go. Not that you guys aren't great, because you are.
All right, well, thank you guys and congratulations.
Thank you.
We are live on the scene where Jack McMullen is about to perform one of his amazing, famous Michael Jackson dances. So, good luck, Jack, whenever you're ready. So Jack, you were nominated by Miss Bergman for your cool dance moves. So what's your fondest memory at Lesher?
My fondest memory at Lesher is probably this year when I got into a rap battle with one of my friends. I lost, but it was still fun.
What advice do you have for anybody?
Advice for anybody, stay out of trouble, do your work, and I get.
What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins.
And what's your favorite class?
My favorite class? Probably geography because it's something I've kind of been studying for a long time since I was in 2nd grade, so it's probably my favorite.
And do you have any last minute goodbyes you want to make?
No.
All right, okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Iris, you were nominated by Miss Freemeyer because you're so smart and really nice. So we'd like to ask you a few questions. First, what is your fondest memory about Lesher?
My favorite memory about Lesher is meeting my friends. They're really nice people and they do a good job of keeping me company.
Great, so the second question is what advice do you have for incoming people?
Some advice I have for incoming students is just believe in yourself and be confident and just do what your heart tells you to do, and don't be afraid to express yourself at Lesher.
All right. What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins High.
So what's your favorite anime?
I am obsessed with pandas, and a lot of people know that. Yeah.
Do you have any last goodbyes?
Well, goodbye.
Great. Congratulations, Iris.
Thank you.
So Emily, you were nominated by Miss Bergman for your awesome involvement in sports. So we'd like to ask you a few questions. First, what is your fondest memory at Lesher?
Probably just winning the basketball district championship with my friends and stuff.
Cool. Do you have any advice you'd like to give to incoming fifth graders?
Just join a bunch of clubs, sports, and just have fun.
What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Fort Collins High School.
And what is your favorite school sport?
Probably basketball.
All right. And do you have any last-minute goodbyes you want to make?
Not really.
So Sammy, you were nominated by Miss Bergman for your musical talent.
Cool.
So, what has been your fondest memory of Lesher?
There was a lot of those, but looking back, I remember the Iron Viking in 6th grade. Livy and we were actually on a team together, and I made a lot of great friends that way, and we got 3rd place, and that was pretty cool. So, yeah, that was awesome.
Cool. What advice do you have for anybody?
I would say just be yourself and don't be afraid to take risks, because even if you think that people will think that you're crazy or weird or anything like that, in the long run it doesn't really matter, and if you don't take risks, things won't necessarily happen as you want them to. So, yeah.
Great. What high school are you going to?
I'm going to Rocky Mountain High School.
And who's your favorite teacher?
There's a lot of those too. I like all the teachers at Lesher, but Miss Obuda, my orchestra teacher, has really helped me become better than I was when I came to Lesher, and she's been an inspiration to, I think, everyone she meets.
Yes. All right, and last but not least, do you have any last-minute advice?
Bye.
Heroes of the Hall, Stand for Courage or Trash Powerball, or the next year's web captains, please stand. If you were nominated for Student of the Month, Heroes of the Hall, Stand for Courage, Trash Powerball, or next year's web captains.
Do you play an instrument? No, but I like music. Well, our spring concerts under the direction of Mrs. Obluda and Mrs. Romero were amazing, as usual. Let's check some of it out.
Words are interesting, but colors. Oh, I see what you're asking. We'll switch seats and then it'll go words. Good question. Yes, ma'am. Who sits there? I have Chloe sit there. Or did, oh, I moved you back. in Beijing, the actual Forbidden City, that huge structure that you see in Kung Fu Panda and other famous movies. So this is Forbidden City. There's a lot of really neat stuff in there.
This group of students, they have largely been together for the last 3 years, and collectively as a group, they have excelled in every way. And you guys know, as parents and family, they excel academically, at their extracurriculars, socially, and as you'll see tonight, musically. I actually just had a parent as I was walking in say, I bet you're excited for the 8th graders to be moving on, because they're probably getting a little squirrely. And that's true, they are getting a little squirrely, but not excited for them to move on, because it is a little bittersweet. This is an outstanding group of students. It's an outstanding 8th grade class in every regard, like I just said. And so the performance tonight's going to be amazing. We're going to miss this group of students specifically. I'm sure Ms. Romero and Ms. Blue will talk about that a little bit as well. But I want to thank you for sharing your students with us, and they are an outstanding group as a whole. So thank you.
the one that takes you to the places where all streets lead, yeah. No change, I can't change, I can't change, I can't change, 'cause I'm here in my home, I am here in my home, and I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can't change my home, no, 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 no. Well, I'm never afraid, but tonight I'm home and easy. I need to hear some sounds that recognize the joy in me, yeah. I let the melody shine, let it cleanse my mind. I feel free now, and the airwaves are clear, and these strings, yeah, singing to me now. I can change, I'll change, yes, I'll change, I can change, 'cause I'm here to be molded, I'm here to be molded. I'm a million different people from one day to the next. I can change, I know I can change, I'm told.
Oh man, aren't you excited to go run that annual last day of school 3K?
Walk. But totally, I'm gonna break some records.
Like with your hands?
Maybe.
Speaking of breaking records, did you hear about our track and field athletes?
No, what happened?
Just watch.
Go. Six. Done.
Hello, Lesher. We're here with Cade Wish. We're going to interview him about how the track season went and how districts went. So let's get to it. So, Cade, could you describe how the energy is at a track meet?
Oh, it's pretty intense, but also really fun to have all that competition going on. And
how do you feel districts and the season went?
I believe that districts went really well. Can't wait till next year in high school when I compete there, and I want to say good luck to the 6th and 7th graders right now for next year.
Why should somebody be on a track team next year?
Well, I mean, it's a really good fundamental sport. It helps you with other sports like football, basketball, wrestling. It's basically builds onto your other sport to make you more athletic.
And as an individual, how do you think you performed in districts and the regular season?
I think I did pretty well. This year I got first in discus, and shot put I got second, which is the best I've ever done. And I went in #1 for both events, so I'm pretty proud about that. And I broke the school record, so.
Well, thank you, Kate, and go sports.
Hello, Lesher sports fans. We know it's late, but we have Emily Beckner with us for some great track interviews.
So, Emily, for those of us who don't know how it's like to participate in a track meet, explain the energy and the camaraderie in such an event, and why someone should consider being a part of the track team in the future.
So the energy at a track meet is very positive, and we're all trying to support each other and encourage each other, and we're just trying to do our best. It's really fun, and there's a lot of like support within the team, and you get to build relationships with the other athletes, so it's really just a great thing to be a part of.
How do you feel like the season went?
I feel like the season went really well for a lot of us. A lot of us got like personal bests throughout the season and continued to improve, and that's like really cool and great, and it was just a lot of fun.
And overall, how do you think you did in all of the meets?
Overall, I think that I did pretty well. I continued to improve as the season progressed, and it was really fun for me and great, and yeah, I ended up placing a couple times, so that was pretty cool.
Well, thank you, Emily, and go sports.
On behalf of all of us at KLIB, we want to thank 6th, 8th graders for their outstanding creating of their digital work, their editing, their reporting. So would Jaden, Laren, Holden, Peter, Livy, and Lucy meet me after the 3K run at the DJ booth. Thank you and have a great summer.
Good morning, Vikings. It's my honor and privilege every year to do the final farewell in our annual end-of-the-year KLIB broadcast. This year dedicated to our departing 8th graders and all of our alumni, which you 8th graders will be in just a few short hours. This year I started our year by talking about rowing the boat. It was this idea, this concept that you got to put both oars in order and row, okay, and do the work, all right? And you're rowing into the future, which you can't see because your back's to the future. And you just got to trust that you're rowing in the right direction. But you're rowing in the present because that's the only thing you can control. And you're looking at the past, which is where you've been. And that's the only thing you can really learn from. So we started this year with this idea of rowing the boat, rowing the Viking ship, into the future, living in the present, reflecting on the past. So I want to thank our 8th graders for 3 great years here at Lesher. I want to thank our 7th graders who are soon going to become the 8th grade leaders in our building next year. And I want to thank our 6th graders for a great year. And I want to thank our staff for also rowing the boat and working hard to provide great learning experiences and outcome for our kids. I believe we are the best school around. We always have things to work on. We always have areas we can improve, just like in our own personal lives. We can always get better professionally as students, as staff. But I see us working hard at making those improvements. This episode did a lot of, or shared a lot of successes throughout the year. So when I sit back and look at my journal of all of our successes, I see a lot. It was chronicled in a great yearbook put out by our yearbook team. Great job, Mrs. Davis. So when I sit and I think about my morning, I have my morning coffee every morning and reflect on a great year, it's always bittersweet at this time of the year because I'm so happy and proud to work in such a great school with so many great kids and so many great teachers. Which is why I continue to want us to be number one, okay? You're number one in my book, and you'll always be a Lesher Viking. Once a Viking, always a Viking, 8th graders. So I want to thank you all for a great year. Next year, we have big things planned. We're going to keep getting better. That's the continuous improvement model. We're going to keep improving. We're going to keep trying to get better academically, artistically, athletically, and socially. In all 4 of those areas. That's our goal. This year, when you came to school, you saw our new goalposts and our big fancy net ball catcher system on our athletic field. Next summer, or next August, when you return 6th and 7th graders into 7th and 8th grade, my hope is we're going to have a whole new shed. Our Sealand storage container and our shed out by the field will hopefully be a whole new storage area that will help our building do the things that we need to do and store the equipment we need to do. So you're going to constantly see facilities upgrades. You're going to constantly see our teachers come back invigorated, fired up to do more cool stuff with kids and offer more great experiences. So I want to thank you all for a great year. I want to thank you all for a great 3 years, 8th graders, and I want to thank our staff. I firmly believe that we're on the right course on the Viking ship, and I wish all of our 8th graders the best in their matriculation to Collins, Pooter, Fossil, and Rocky. And I'm excited about the new group of 6th graders coming in. I just couldn't be more overjoyed. It's bittersweet for me. It's sweet that we've had another great year, but it's a little bitter for me in that I have to say goodbye to so many awesome 8th graders that I will dearly miss. So thank you all for being Vikings and joining the ship. Thanks for rowing the boat. Thanks for anchoring down this year. Have a great summer and get ready for August. It's going to be awesome. Hey, wait a second, Vikings. Before I forget, one more special shout out I need to share. I want to thank our 5 staff members that are moving on to different places next year. I want to thank Katie Upaw, Miss Upaw, who's been a part-time English teacher in 7th grade that some of you may not know, but she's done a great job for us coming in mid-year. Thank you, Katie Upaw, who's been a 29% English teacher in 7th grade for us. She's going to be teaching full-time at Wellington Middle School next year. Great job, Katie. I want to thank our registrar, Maria Anderson, who came in about mid-year 2 years ago. Miss Anderson has done a great job anchoring down in our counseling office and helping all 3 of our counselors do their jobs and respond to student and parent needs. Thank you, Miss Anderson, for doing a great job for us here on the Viking ship. She's going to be the office manager at Rice Elementary School up in Wellington next year, closer to where she lives. I want to thank Miss Ashley. Megan Ashley's been a special education integrated services teacher for us for the last couple years, and she's moving down to Denver to be closer to her family with her husband. So I want to thank Miss Ashley for all the hard work she's done as a special ed integrated services teacher over the last couple years. You will also be very missed. I want to thank Miss Brown. Noelle Brown has been a 7th grade math teacher here for the last 3 years. And she is moving on and finishing her master's degree in data sciences and going to move into some different fields around data. So if you thought Miss Brown liked math, she really loves math. Statistics and numbers is her thing, and she's going to move into kind of some different areas around data science. She loves numbers that much. Thank you, Miss Brown, for giving us 3 great years, being our track coach, and doing so many things here at Lesher over these 3 years. You will be missed. I want to thank Miss Herrick, our assistant principal, who's going to be the assistant principal at Timnath Elementary School next year, moving in the direction of elementary school. Ms. Herrick was 4 years as our assistant principal here and taught English many years ago before that. Ms. Herrick's done a lot with our MTSS program, with a lot of our celebrations, and with our assessments that we have to do every year, and has worked a lot with our student, staff, and families over the past 4 years with me and previously as a teacher here before I got here. Thanks, Ms. Herrick, and I'm glad you're going to be in our feeder at Timnath Elementary School. Go Cubs. Thank you, Ms. Herrick, for all your hard work and drive. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank Deb Frayne. Deb Frayne taught art for 23 years at Lesher. That's a run. That's a long time and a lot of work. And I want to thank Miss Frayne for all her 23 years of working hard to get kids excited about art and display student work around the city and the state. Miss Frayne often had student work, artwork, in various shows and competitions. Thank you, Mrs. Frayne, for all your work over the years. We wish you the best in your retirement after 23 years. Go Vikings!